Zerto's failover test operation allows you to validate your IT resilience strategy and ensure recovery will be successful in the event of a real disaster or disruption. This operation brings up VMs in a DR site within a configured bubble network that is not usually connected to any physical network. A failover test does not impact ongoing replication or your production environment. You don't have to take applications offline or lose an entire weekend trying to see if you're really prepared for an outage or data loss. It's invisible to the end user too, so a complete failover test can run without either slowing down the network or hindering your other IT functions. All of this is made possible by Zerto's Continuous Data Protection Journal. Given its non-disruptive nature, it is advised to perform at least one test failover before the need arises to perform a live failover in order to verify all settings and coverage. You can run a failover test on an entire VPG or on a single VM within a VPG. You won't need a huge runbook. This process is just 3 steps. All you need to do is select the virtual protection groups, or the VMs. Pick the checkpoint to test from the journal, and start the operation. Let's take a look at what is happening behind the scenes during the failover test. Once you kick off the failover test, Zerto automatically registers the VMs in the recovery site with the naming convention of vmname-failover test. Creates a temporary scratch thin VMDK on a per VM basis in the target data store, which stores any changes made in the failover test VMs. Connects the failover test VMs to the port group specified for testing and boots the VMs. This allows you to log into the console to check the data is consistent and the applications work. While this is taking place, the protected VMs are still powered on in production and continue replicating changes. Once you have finished your failover testing, you stop the failover test in a single click. Zerto automatically does all the cleanup as well, including removing the failover test VMs from the inventory and deleting the scratch VMDKs. This removes any changes made as part of the failover test. Lastly, Zerto automatically creates a new checkpoint specifically flagged to show when and what was tested. Because replication continued during the test, there is no resync period needed. You can easily generate a report detailing the outcome of the failover testing. This is especially helpful in organizations who need to prove DR plan compliance. This report can be customized with your company logo and downloaded in a PDF to use and share. With the ability to easily bring a temporary copy of your VMs online from previous points in time, you aren't only limited to disaster recovery testing with this operation. Zerto's customers also use the failover test functionality to test both operating system and application upgrades before applying them to production. This is helpful for change requests. Recover files and folders using VMware tools and Power CLI without the need for network access to the testing recovery VM. Give access to a copy of the VM to developers for short-term testing. Perform database and application consistency checks. Continue to investigate issues after they have been resolved on the production site. Run reports on databases without impacting production. Recover item-level application objects such as individual emails from Exchange or tables from a database using native application tools after a failover test. Bring up a copy of up-to-date Active Directory services in the failover test network for use with VMs that require Active Directory for a successful failover test. And dynamically build a complete training environment with the ability to use an up-to-date copy of data with no changes made in production.